sky. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
The shock wave that we felt inside Safeco Field. Look at that dust cloud now moving over King Street Station, Union Station.
Toward the International District. And they're not as concerned about this dust cloud as they are on a normal building because there's no drywall and plaster, but certainly it is obliterating this camera shot.
That was our camera shot from Pioneer Square where Richard Thompson and Kyle Moore were reporting just moments ago. A clear view into the dome. They are breathing dust down there right now. Heaven knows they need those respirators. But everything shook for a moment. They said it was going to be like a fireworks display with respect to loud. And it was fairly loud. And to sit here and watch that building come down.
I hear Richard. Maybe he can't see, but he can certainly talk. There you go, Richard.
Yeah, this is just absolutely amazing. We are being rained on with the Kingdome. The Kingdome is coming down on top of us right now, and it is in very little dust form. It is something absolutely amazing. And when it first actually came out, when it first actually came down, here, let me grab something here. Let's see. I don't have any idea, to tell you the truth, what this is. Maybe this is some of that infamous tile that we saw fall so many years ago, but it's falling now, and it was absolutely everywhere. Let's go ahead and go over here if we can. This is 2nd and Jackson. We can see a little patch of blue sky above us, but everybody just came running when the dust cloud came, and we felt the wind, the concussion that we've been hearing about that would come from the dome, and it actually did come at us. Things are clearing out a little bit better now, so I think I could maybe take off this dust mask, but it was just absolutely amazing. And we were, it was one of those moments in time where you see this gigantic cloud rolling towards you, and you think to yourself, what's going to be in it? Are there going to be large chunks of debris? Are we in serious danger here? But of course, they set their safety zone, and it proved to be pretty good, at least from our vantage point. You can see some people starting to come back into the area now. All the work crews, they were taking no chances, just like us. They pulled back. They got around the corner, around the buildings here to try and get a little bit of shelter and a little protection from this dust that continues to come down. And, it was just absolutely awesome. That's the best way to describe it as far as I can tell. Just amazing.
All right, well,
Back to you.
We're glad, Richard, you're safe and sound, and everyone else, we assume, along with you. Now to Essex Porter in the International District.
A lot of that dust cloud heading now almost straight north toward downtown, and that's what you're looking at. Really, really thick, obscuring many tall buildings that we could see earlier. Now, as we pan back south, we can see where the dust cloud is entering the International District. It's entering almost as it goes straight east into the International District. Interestingly, we are north and east of the Kingdome, where we thought the dust would come, and it really is not here, at least not yet. But we are expecting to get some. A lot of dust kicked up by this explosion, and much of it's still in the air. Steve and Susan?
Well, at Essex, we look forward to when that dust cloud moves away so we can see then what is left, the rubble that remains of the Kingdome in that footprint that we've talked so much about. Clark Stahl is overhead, and he's had a great sight of this. Clark, this must have been spectacular from your vantage point.
That is certainly one of the words I would use. It's one of the more incredible things I have ever seen from Chopper 7, the way the explosives went off.
All right, Clark, we're having a little bit of trouble with your audio there, so we'll get that straightened out. In the meantime, we're going to look at your pictures, continue to circle around, and that dust cloud continues to hang overhead. this is not over. This is just the beginning of the process now. The building came down, or what was left of it. As we speak, safety crews are checking overpasses, bridges, the freeways, the Alaska Way Viaduct, gas lines, electrical conduit, everything around the Pioneer Square, International District, and Duwamish Waterway area, just to make sure everything is still safe.
There was a tremendous concussion. We're at Safeco Field, and we could see the windows move. I expected some of them to break, quite frankly. And we've been told that that concussion is the air that's inside the Kingdome being forced out. I wonder, Clark, did you feel anything at your vantage point?
You know, actually, we could hear it, of course. We could hear the explosions as they took place, and there was actually just a little bit of rumbling that we felt inside the helicopter. And we were probably about just slightly over a half a mile away and at about 1,000 feet. Just an incredible sight that we saw up there. The dust started to rise immediately. Some of the things I noticed, a lot of confused seagulls out here flying around. That was one thing. Another thing, looking over toward Pioneer Square, the dust cloud started to move immediately that direction. Now we're starting to get our first view of the what's left of the dome as we come around the south side here. But I noticed a whole bunch of people that decided that they were in the wrong place. They were running away from the dust cloud. I think it was a futile effort because the cloud was moving a lot faster than most of them could run. Now we are starting to get a pretty good picture of what's going on inside there. Steve and Susan, how does that look to you? It looks to me exactly like the graphics said it would, and exactly like CDI said it would.
It sure did. Brad did his homework back in the studio, and he drew it up for us, and it happened just the way he drew it up. In fact, there was some concern that some of the uprights, some of the structural posts might be left standing, but it looks like CDI has done a magnificent job and dropped everything in on itself. Let's now begin our look at the replays of this from all the camera angles. We're going to start in Pioneer Square and give you a shot that Richard Thompson and the folks on the street there in Pioneer Square saw. Here we go. There goes the roof section and then the structural supports, and here comes that cloud. Wow.
What does that remind you of, the pictures of Mount
St. Helens? First thing I thought about with Richard standing on a clear morning and have nothing but clouds around him, first thing I thought about was Mount St. Helens. You can see people kind of moving and scrambling back away. Even with those respirators on, people scrambling away from the dust cloud.
Now we're going to take a look at the King Street view, which is very close by but a little bit higher. Again, you can see those explosive charges section by section, just like they said it would. Beautiful.
Here comes the cloud of dust right at the King Street camera, so that will be blocked from here on out. Now, let's go inside the dome and see what we can show you from inside. Here we go. This camera has given its life for this shot. The 300 level now. Remember, you may have watched a football game sitting up there, maybe a baseball game. The countdown went, and here they go. Look at that. Pieces start to fall. This roof will come down in sections. That's it. Good night, Irene, for that camera. We'll find one of the other cameras a little bit low. Well, there's a picture of a dumpster. I don't think that's exactly what we want, but here is the cloud moving toward us. Again, these back to live pictures now as people are starting to move out. Remember, the airspace was cleared over Safeco Field and the Kingdome, and now we hear planes beginning on their track back in towards SeaTac Airport again. But people are starting to move out of the area because there's not a lot to see except for the cloud of dust, and until it clears, we won't get a good look at the rubble.
Essex, how are you doing? Well,
and finally, we're the last to get it, just straight north and east of the Kingdome. All now obscured. We used to be able to show you Union Station from here, and you cannot see that. It is now as if Union Station is in a fog. And as we swing, and pardon me, that is dust making me cough. As we swing our camera around with the crowd here, let me talk to Shannon Tyler. Shannon, what is this dust like?
It's like it's snowing soot.
Really?
Yep.
Can you taste it?
Yeah.
What does it kind of taste like?
Fire.
A little bit like fire. Right.
Ashes.
Right. Just incredible here. Most of this crowd has not moved at all, and now we are caught in this dust cloud as well. Steve and Susan?